Mhm. So, if we apply encapsulate record to the common data record that the functions share. Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Come on in. Just kidding. Hey, I am welcome back. Part 5 in object-oriented programming. And I think this is actually the coolest video we have done of all of them. Some really awesome stuff in here today. I'm going to lead in by saying, watch the whole video. If you are trying to learn to understand, I'm going to say solid software development principles in Apex. In my opinion, what we're going to talk about today is one of the most powerful patterns that you can use in the Apex programming language. Not only powerful, powerful, flexible, really pretty easy to implement once you kind of wrap your head around some of the different pieces. So I'm really excited to get in here and talk about it. So first, I'm going to say, if you haven't watched particularly the last video on interfaces, you need to stop. I'm going to put a link up here somewhere. Click that. Go watch the interfaces video. Because we're going to build on what we did last video. So I'll just start by saying I kind of burned down a bunch of the stuff so we could do it over and what I think is a little bit better and to use this pattern where we're going to use reflection interfaces, custom metadata, etc. So, first of all, just before we get too deep in here, let's take a little bit and where did I say that in Chrome? So reflection, first of all, I'm going to start off by saying reflection is not truly supported in Apex, but we can hack a version of it, really using the type class and custom metadata. So what we're really doing with reflection is allowing our program to kind of modify itself at runtime. And so if you remember last time, so we built that discount calculator and we had a switch statement and it would return different types of discounts depending on the opportunity amount. So now we're going to redo that whole thing now using a form of reflection in Apex, custom metadata, and interfaces to make a really nice, smooth, slick, object-oriented version of what we were trying to achieve. So let's open up Illuminated Cloud, huh? And so I'm going to say, so a few changes I made last time. I'm going to start, so if you watched the last video, here's a couple things that are slightly different. I added in a couple custom fields for the sake of this video to, I think, make it easily understandable. So real quick, I'm going to switch back to, so first of all, on my account field, I added a pick list, customer tier. Just right now has 3 values, gold, silver, and bronze. That's it. Pick list, 3 values. Okay, then over on opportunity, I added a cross-object formula that references the parent account's customer tier value. So we're going to set our discounts by, so let's say we had some business logic and if an account, right, they had purchased more than, X number of dollars of our product in the last fiscal year, however we want to determine it. Now they're gold or silver, whatever your business case may be. And maybe that's another video where we actually build the business logic to set those tiers. But for right now, it's just simply we are only gonna set that data in our test classes. All right, so 2 custom fields. Those are built ahead of time. Also, a custom metadata type. In fact, I'm going to go back. I'll just open up my custom metadata. Custom, not metadata types, right? Okay. And so I created a custom metadata type called discounts, right? Let's open that up. It's got a couple fields. Class to instantiate. That's really important. The heart of everything that we do today is going to revolve around that class to instantiate field. We've got our customer tier, and right now, just for the sake of, because I'm lazy, frankly, I just made it a text field. We probably actually want to make that a pick list with global values, but I didn't. I'm lazy. It's just a text field today. And then a discount, right? So before we had to have our, if later on we wanted to re-implement this so we didn't want to have the discount amount hard-coded in, which it currently is, and we're not going to mess with that today. So today we need to focus on class to instantiate, customer tier, and I have 3 records, gold, silver, and bronze, right? So let's just we open up gold, right? Gold discount, that's it, and it has a class to instantiate of gold discount. All right. So that's it. That's the config pieces. So if you are following along and you want to make this work exactly what we're going to do today, that's what you need. You need those 2 custom fields, and you need these custom metadata records because everything is going to be based off of that. All right, back to Illuminated Cloud. And boom. Okay, so let's go back, right? We had our discount calculator class. And if you remember, it takes an opportunity in its constructor, and it accepts an interface of discount, right? So when we create a new discount calculator class, if you remember what it was doing, it was reaching out to the discount factory, and it was getting the appropriate discount type, right, by sending it the amount. And then, right, it would calculate the discount. So we would populate, because remember with the I, so we would populate that I discount, right, would be equal to whatever came back from our factory. And so let's go back to our factory, right? So our factory, remember, like, this is where we're going to change everything. Factory last time, so I deleted the guts. But if you remember, it was really, I can't remember if it was a switch statement, an if statement. Switch, because we had decimals. It was just an if statement, right? If amount is greater than this, return that. So the downside to that, so one of the principles of software development is the open-closed principle, right? So we say it's closed for modification, but open for extension. So right now, right, so we have, last time we had, what do we call our classes last time? Big, standard, and small. So I renamed them also just to get a little start on this, like silver, gold, and bronze. Silver, gold, and bronze discount. You can see the tabs up there at the top. But so as we talked about, right? So what happens if later on we add a platinum customer tier, or I don't know, a ruby, whatever. These things always change, right? If I don't have to, I really don't ever want to go back into my factory and touch it. I don't want to add another condition. I especially hate adding conditions to if statements. I actually like to avoid them if I can. If you're familiar, if you start using PMD, Cyclomatic, the more stuff going on in an if statement, the harder your code gets to debug. Okay, so right now we are going to, so let's start from the beginning. All right, discount calculator. So now we no longer care about the opportunity amount. We only care about, if you remember, what is the customer tier, right? That customer tier, so you can see there's our custom field, __C. And this is, right, you got that red line, Illuminated Cloud's trying to be helpful and say, hey, you know, the method you're calling, the discount factory, is expecting a decimal, right? So let's go to discount factory. And we're going to change that to a string. String customer tier. All right. So we should go back, and there we go. That all works now. Okay, so now how are we going to return something? So our discount calculator, remember, so it's saying it has an opportunity with a customer tier value of gold, right? So it's calling our discount factory saying, hey, send me back a discount interface for a customer tier of gold. So what do we do now? Using custom metadata. We're not going to hard code this stuff. So first of all, we're going to query our custom metadata. So let's say discount _MDT, and we'll call it our discount meta equals, and then we're going to select class to instantiate from discount, where I'm going to go down a line because I don't like going over that far, where customer tier, all right? So just to walk through the code, right? So we're just saying, hey, send me back the appropriate custom metadata record, including what we want, that class to instantiate field, where the customer tier value and custom metadata is equal to the customer tier value that we passed in our parameter up here, right? All right. So now we've got a value in our discount metadata. Now here is where the magic happens. Okay, so we are going to say type T equals, and I'm going to pause right here. We are going to be using this as a built-in class in Apex. In fact, real quick, let's just open up the docs. All right. Apex type class. There's only, I think, 2 methods to this thing. So just, read it, learn it. It's a really super powerful class. I'm a huge fan of it. The type class lets you instantiate something based on its name. And that's what we're going to do here. So take a look, go ahead and read the documents. There's only a couple of methods to it, but there is, I'm going to say definitely if you've never used it before, it takes a little bit to get used to it. It kind of made my brain melt the first time I saw somebody use the type class. All right, so type T. So we're saying give us the Apex type class. We're going to name it T. Typically, like I said, I don't like single letter variables, but I feel like this is a convention in Apex programming, so it works. Type T equals discount meta dot class to instantiate. Okay, so what I actually meant to do, was type.forName discount meta class to instantiate. Let's go over and we're going to get rid of that junk. What'd I do? All right, well, you get to watch me do it again. Type T equals type.forName discount meta dot class to instantiate. Bam, we got it all. Okay, so we set our type T equal to a type with whatever came in our custom metadata class to instantiate. So in this case, our custom metadata, let's say we're talking about our gold record, right? Do we still have that custom metadata? Gold, right? So remember, class to instantiate is gold discount. So that's the value that is in that variable now, okay? So this now has a value of gold discount. Now, get ready for the magic, okay? We are pure object-oriented goodness, okay? So we're going to say I discount. Remember, we're returning an interface here. Discount equals. Okay, so first I'm just going to show, we're going to go T dot new instance. So we're saying instantiate that up here, type T, instantiate that based on the name that we passed in earlier. And so we got a red line. What is going on? Illegal assignment from object to I discount. So what we have to do, this is one more little piece here, maybe some cognitive overhead if you're not used to it, is we have to cast it. We have to say this is actually what we want to return is an I discount. Okay, so now we are actually going to, let's return discount. Okay, so this is it really, right? So here's the beauty here, right? So all we have to do when our business says, hey, you know what? I want a Ruby tier or a Platinum tier. Now we never have to go into this class, right? We have to create a custom metadata record that contains, Ruby tier in the class to instantiate. And we have to create a class that supports that. But we never have to touch our discount calculator, and we never have to touch our factory. Because remember, the discount calculator is just saying when it is instantiated in its constructor, hey, discount factory, give me a discount of whatever value is in that opportunity tier. Walk through, right? And this is returning an iDiscount interface. We query our custom metadata. We go type T, type.forName, and then whatever the name of the class is that we want to instantiate. And then we say iDiscount, because if you remember up top, right, we have to declare what type of value are we returning. But because we're using from our last video polymorphism, we can return lots of different classes, can assume the type of iDiscount if they implement the get discount method, right? So iDiscount discount. Then we have to cast this. We do that by putting it in parentheses to an iDiscount, t.new instance, and return. So mentally, there's only, what do you got, like 5 lines of code here? Not much in the code, but yes, I feel if you have not worked with us before, like cognitively, there's a lot going on in these 5 lines. So it can take a while to absorb it all. So now let's go back. I'm going to compile this. And let me run. I wrote one test earlier when I was testing this ahead of time. So actually, if we did this right, big discount, I think, should pass, and standard discount should fail. So let's see what happens. Okay, great. And now I'm going to even show you something cool. And we're going to, first of all, we're going to make our standard discount test pass. But let's go to our test classes. Discount calculator test. And I should have actually run those ahead of time so they failed. So you can see that we were actually kind of doing test-driven development, because a huge part of being able to refactor code effectively is having good tests. Tests are what let you know you broke stuff, right? And I mean, they're essential to all software development, and that's probably a whole nother multi-part series we could do is on testing in Apex and in Salesforce. But for now, let's just open it up. Let's open up our calculator class and go big discount. And we're actually gonna, I'm gonna show you refactor, rename. I always forget it's not really we're testing the gold discount class. Test gold discount. Okay. So here's what we did to test it. All right, because if you remember, we changed our logic. Things aren't running on the account opportunity or the opportunity amount anymore. So we created an account, gold account, right? And we gave it a name and a customer tier, and we inserted the gold account into the database. As much as I can, I don't actually like to insert stuff into the database or retrieve stuff from the database for testing, but this makes a pretty good, I think, a readable example. Now we create a new opportunity. We assign in the opportunity, right? We're going to give it the ID of the gold account that we just assumed. I'm going to give it an amount of $1,000. Then, right, so we have a list, and we're going to add this opportunity that we just created to that list. And if you remember, I think I covered this way back in one of my videos on collections. This is the constructor for the list type, right? So instead of having the parentheses there, we have curly braces, and I'm saying, so instead of instantiating the list and then saying oplist.add opportunity, it's just a shortcut, saves you a line of code. Okay, but if I didn't, because remember, we're using a formula now, right? So if I just ran it now, it would fail because the opportunity list has never hit the database. So that formula has never been calculated. I think it was summer 20 gave us the formula class, which is really great. So what I did, right? So formula.recalculate formulas, and it takes a list of S objects, opportunity list. So now it calculated that formula for me. So now, because if you remember, the opportunity was using a cross-object formula to get that value off of the account. So discount calculator equals new discount calculator, and it's getting passed an opportunity. And we're going to use our given when test.start, right? We're going to see what is the result that the discount sends back. Test.stop, and for $1,000. And if you remember, that was a 10% discount. That should be actually 10, right? Screwed up my annotations in my cert statements. Let's run that again. That's what I get for probably copying and pasting some code somewhere. Every time you copy and paste code, you end up wishing you had not. Let's run it. Okay, but now let's refactor our standard discount class. We're going to name it, let's test silver discount opportunity. So what do we need here? First, we needed an account, right? Account, silver account equals new account. And if you're following us, so all we're doing now is we're setting the values in the constructor. And if I'm just going to set 1 or 2, I like to do it in the constructor. If I'm going to set many, I'm going to just set that equal to silver. Then I would probably, silver account dot name equals silver account dot customer tier equals. And it's really it's really to me a decision about readability. Do I want a whole bunch of stuff kind of scrolling off to the left? If I'm going to say if it's more than 2 or 3 values, I'm going to just set it with, silver account dot and do it that way. So I just have a list of values going straight down. But anyway, neither here nor there. All right, now let's insert that. Insert silver account. Insert that to the database. Okay, I'm going to end an empty space, opportunity, amount equals 500. Let's see, we have to give that the account ID, right? So account ID equals silver account dot ID. And I'm just going to pass the amount in. Since we're already using the constructor. Okay. I'm going to get rid of this line. Let's see. So, opportunity, new opportunity. We needed to add that to a list, right? List opportunity. List equals new list opportunity. Remember, curly braces, because we're just going to add this into the constructor. Opportunity. Then formula dot recalculate formulas. OPP list. So we don't need we don't need that line anyway. Stop using my mouse. Using a mouse is always suboptimal. Okay, discount calculator, test.start, decimal result, calculator.discount. All right. First, we'll just see if it compiles. All right, it compiled. Let's run it. Let's run them both. And for the sake of keeping the video brief, I'm not going to test. There we go. It passed. All right. So we got rid of all of that conditional logic in our factory with this. All right. And I'm going to walk through it one last time. So we've got our custom metadata. And I always use class to instantiate. That's my convention. You could just call it class name or whatever. That's just, I think it's nice and clear and it works for me. Okay. Discount calculator gets an opportunity. It goes to the factory. Hey, factory, give me something with using the beauty of polymorphism, right? Give me something with the type of iDiscount. So we go to our discount static method. Going to query the custom metadata. Give me custom metadata with a type of gold, silver, bronze, ruby, ultra platinum, whatever the business wants. Type T equals type dot for name. And we are going to give it the value that was in class to instantiate. And then the type class, remember that's the whole bit, because it's going to let us instantiate a class based on its name. So we're saying this is equal to whatever value, whatever the name was that we passed into T, it's equal to that. Cast it to that type and send it back. We never have to touch this again. I think this is so powerful, so cool. I use this in real world applications all the time. You can use this. Maybe I'll do another video on like a true real world application where I use this. But truly, I feel like this is one of the most powerful design patterns that you can use in the Apex programming language. I think every developer should know it and get comfortable with it. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if this was helpful to you. Truly hope it was. If you've made it all the way to the end, I have no idea how long this video even is now, do me a favor, take a second and hit that like button. You don't need to smash it, just hit the like button. Give me a like, give me a subscribe. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.